Hi guys, it's Lindsay. I am about a week out from completing my 9-month course, which was called the Introduction to Leadership Program with Landmark. And I've probably called and texted and emailed many of you guys and likely made it very weird. And I want to I want to give you where I am and why I'm doing this because I'm sure some of you are going like, what is she doing? Okay. So, and it's a process, and where I am today is not where I was yesterday. But I'm going to paint a picture that maybe you can relate to. Um I'm writing a book called The Art of Enough, and it's about the journey of returning to that belief that I am whole and complete and I am enough. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, just I am enough. Everything I need, everything that I want, I can do. It's within me. And that doesn't happen without work. And what work that I've done that has worked for me that I'm going to share with you is that integrity. I call this program my integrity bootcamp because it's like one thing we got to really get what integrity is, because I see that's, like people say like it's like doing what what you think is right when nobody's looking. Yes, that's valid. And there's a lot more to it. So without integrity, nothing works, including our lives. And while if you asked me 9 months ago if my life was working, I would have said yes, it works. I'm in a long marriage. I have beautiful children. We have a great life. Life works, but does it really? So, I got sick back in March and went through some health challenges and found myself with situational depression. And I had been doing landmark work for about 3 years. And I'm so grateful for that because I believe that is part of how I got to the point where I could ask for help. And even when I asked for help, right there was like, well, I'm not drowning. Like I know there's people drowning with mental health right now, and I'm treading water. And a very wise person said, you don't need to be drowning to be worthy of help. And I was like, good point. Like I had this arbitrary amount of suffering that I needed to be at in order to be worthy of asking for help. And so I got help. And so I had counseling, and I was actually doing the Landmark Introduction to Leadership program simultaneously as I was doing this. And I'll tell you that the self discovery that occurred during this last year, I'm like, I don't know when I've ever had that much open up and like breakthroughs and breakdowns. But it's like you got to go through the breakdowns to get to the breakthroughs. So it was all kind of part of the parcel. But like, I'm at this point where I'm like, oh my God, this life that I have today is not better than my life before. It just works. So, like, it looks like I stopped drinking. And not that I had a problem drinking, but because of my health concerns, it actually impacted me more. So it wasn't worth it. But I was still drinking because I I wasn't worth at some point that to not put myself through suffering. Like that's not I'm not really proud to admit that, but I did it and I'd done it for years. So we stopped that. And I just like I know that I need to drink X amount of water a day, but it was like hit and miss. And now I've created a structure to make sure that I do, because the health that I have, I'm going to work with that, and I am not going to piss around with it. There's like a sense of urgency about my life now that if something's not working, then take an action. And not just an action, but create a structure so that it is, consistent. Was it Cody? And I sat and talked to Cody Thompson from White Collar Boxing, and he was talking about consistency. And I was like, it really impacted me when I talked to him, and it didn't make the difference for me to actually do it. And that's not anything to do with him. I was seeing him. He was creating space with his consistency, and it still wasn't enough to make me do it. It was just a matter of me discovering it for myself. And that's why I'm like, advice and insight and learning new things doesn't make the difference in your life, And so it was like literally having to be in the trenches of doing this that I was like, oh, I get it. Oh, look at that. So I'm not sharing this with you because, I want to help you. You are already whole and complete, and there is nothing that you need. Everything you need, you already have. And we don't get told that very often, because everything in marketing is about filling the need or the void that we don't have, right? And the world goes round with movement of funds and all that stuff. And I'm like, wow. So this introduction to leadership program that I'm completing in like a week, I declared myself to be a leader of Landmark kind of late in the game. It took me a while to get here, and I am doing everything in my power to share this work with everybody, because number one, it has made an absolute difference in my life. My marriage today is not the marriage I had last year. My relationship with the kids is not the same relationship I had with them last year. And my kids haven't changed. I have. But the quality of our relationship, because of that, everything altered around me. I'm like, integrity's in my home now. Like, we do what we say, and we honor our word if we can't. And I'm not perfect at this because I'm human, but man, I've come a long way. And it happened by removing all those instances of when I wasn't doing what I said I was going to do, or wasn't doing what I know I should do, but I wasn't doing it. And it was like these little moments of self-loathing that just were there. And it's like, it was those moments that were like my proof that I wasn't whole and complete. I've got a problem. Like, if I was whole and complete, I would be able to do this stuff, and I would exercise daily, and I would do this, and I would do that. No, you're whole and complete, and we have integrity, and it's a choice every moment of the day to do what you say you're going to do, and to be more intentional with what you say you're going to do. And so I'm like, oh, the more I do what I say I'm going to do, I've replaced self-loathing with a sense of pride in myself, a sense of like, hey, I can make a difference. I can do this. Why can I do this now and I couldn't do it before? What was the difference? It was like the muscle of actually having compassion for myself. It was the muscle of taking those moments of self-loathing away so that I could appreciate myself. And yeah, I can't, nobody can give this to you. You are the only person that can give this to yourself. And there probably are like different ways of doing this that I'm not fully aware of all the different ways. And for me, getting counseling when my mental health needed it was absolute. And doing this work with Landmark to keep myself in this empowering context and having conversations that moved me forward, and being an inquiry about why things weren't the way I wanted them versus like, thinking that that something was wrong with me if I'm not where I want to be. Like the conversation's just completely different now. So I'm completing this course in a week and I have measures to meet. And the measures are that you are able to have conversations, that you connect with people, and you get in communication in a way that you understand how their world is and how the world occurs for them and what matters to them. And in that conversation, we all can recognize there are areas that work and don't work, or don't work as well as we'd like them to. And when your life is not working or not working as well as you'd like it to, what actions, like what openings do you see to take action to make it work that will make a difference? And if you're human, it's sometimes hard to see those actions because of the way your past has been, where you've tried it and didn't do it, or done these things and weren't successful. So that just means that you're not going to do that. So why would I? There's a whole resignation and cynical thing there, right? It's natural. It's human. It takes something to break past that. And we've all done things where it's like, it's non-negotiable, right? I'm going to talk to all the moms out here, whether it's with babies or fur babies. If your baby needs you, there is no question that you will be there. If you are tired beyond tired and that baby or that puppy needs you, you're there, because there is no negotiating your commitment to that life. And so women who are caregivers have integrity and they don't even realize it, because we don't waste any energy negotiating whether or not we're going to feed our baby when they're hungry. We don't negotiate changing their diaper if it needs to be changed. And, you might sit there and go, well, this one time that we waited a long time. Our dogs, cats, and children are alive because we have integrity. And that goes for like fathers too. It's just like, I can't relate to being a father, so I don't know how to do that. But like, get that we all have integrity and we know what it's like to not negotiate it, but it's been in these small parts of our life. Imagine what life would be like if your whole life was non-negotiable. I said I'm doing this, that's happening. Why? Because I said so. And I'm at this point where I just wish I could bottle this and give it to everybody and just be like, it's actually possible. It's not this fake it till you make it, or like, there's no Band-Aid solution to this. It literally is work. And it's not work on yourself in the sense of like that you need to fix you. It's like, it's work on what you choose to listen to, what you choose to say, and what you choose to do. People, I'm the same person no matter who I'm with, but how I occur to them is going to be different based on what I've said and done in their presence. And if I have not done what I said I was going to do with them, then who I am to them will be different than who I am with another person that I've always done what I said I'm going to do, right? And so nothing's evidence of being incomplete or not being enough. It's all just choices, moments that you chose to do what you chose to do, and you chose to not do what you chose not to do. And it's in the past. There's nothing to do about it. There's consequences sometimes, and there's like things to deal with around it, but none of it actually affects your worth. I know, sounds so weird. And it took me 9 months to get here. So I'm sharing that with you because I am, well, at the tail end of my course, and I really am looking to lead this work. It's volunteer. I love doing this. I love what it did for me. I love what it's done for my family. I love what it's done for all of my loved ones that have done this work with me now. And I'm like, it works. So if anybody here is open to looking at it, looking at the work of, it's called an Introduction to the Landmark Forum, where they kind of show you bite size of the kind of work that gets done to see if there's something there for you. I am hosting a couple of things over the next couple of days because I waited till the last minute. Yeah, I didn't do everything I needed to do in the moment that I need to do it. And I'm doing it. I could, get all stuck in the morality, or I could just be like, well, now there's a time crunch to deal with, isn't there? So my sense of urgency is not about me qualifying to lead this. My sense of urgency is that I have this in my hands and it makes my life work. And for me to not share that, it's just not even in me. People, I have no idea what you'd get from doing this kind of work. And I know that if you decided to do some work around discovering or getting access to action in areas that aren't working or aren't working as well as you'd like it to, you'd see results different than the ones you'll have without doing any work. So it's one of those things. You choose. You choose. Do you choose to take action and see what happens, or do you choose to take no action and stay with what you got? And those are both great options because life can work. It's just a matter of, for me, I didn't know life could work like this. And my vitality is like through the roof. My health hasn't changed, but my vitality is like, there's what I've got is right here, right now, this moment. And I'm choosing to connect with people, and I'm choosing to give my energy to what fills me up and what can make a difference for others. So hit me up if there's anything you want to explore with Landmark. It's been fantastic for me and my family. And frankly, I really want to qualify to lead this work, and I need the help of my circles. I need the help of the people that are in my circles that are willing to look and are willing to do work to see what happens. So that is my video, and I know it's a long one. And if you stayed to the end, we have to go out for coffee when this is all done because I miss you guys. So take care. Loving you. Bye.